No Means No Podcast, episode 10. Boys, we're finally back on track, albeit a few days late. But that's not it's not my fault. Can't be held
it's not Zach's fault
this time. So we're back. We're excited to do episode 10 of the No Means No Podcast. This week brought to you by Sean. Tell me, who's this week's sponsor?
I had a good sponsor too, damn it. I was going to give our app a shout out, Lose It, for saving my life.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. Shout out to all the calorie tracker apps out there.
Talk to me about what you like about Lose It over other calorie tracking apps.
Well, sometimes in life when you're satisfied with the first product that you use in a certain category, you kind of just run with it. And
sure.
I certainly didn't test any other products, but I'm just going to believe in my heart that Lose It's the best one, and that it just has the most user-friendly interface, and it's way better than all the other ones. So.
You heard it here first. Tried and tested.
tested in a bubble, in a vacuum, but tested.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, there's currently a killer thunderstorm going on outside my apartment, which is really pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
That thunderstorm, I was trying to watch a F1 race today, and
Talk to me about why you would want to do that.
I enjoy some things, and you enjoy some things. Okay, in the F1 race, okay. But I was trying to watch it and enjoy it, and the friggin' meteorologist cut in, like, freaking out about tennis ball-sized hail or something, which, like, okay, that's scary and all, but it was, like, at least 40 miles south of Champaign. I'm like, why am I not able to watch my race right now and have to watch this lady talk about the freaking weather? She cut in one time for like 2 minutes,
it was a
and then
lady.
she left and went back to the race, and she cut in again and never left. She was just like, I didn't get to watch the rest of the race. Like, I was like, not.
Was she good looking?
She wasn't. She wasn't.
These ugly meteorologists are out of control.
Yeah, it's honestly
taking
disgusting.
over our TVs like they're some sort of gods.
You know, Lucas, I think you'd be a really good meteorologist. Like, it's pleasant to see you talk.
I'm like, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
We're about to get into some really, really raucous weather. Let me tell you. Hurricanes are coming in. Just try to stay mellow.
Well, it's just something about, like, I hate to say it, but I trust an attractive person over an person to tell me what's going on, whether it be
only natural.
Oh, yeah.
Meteorologist.
Yeah, there's got to be tons of data on that.
All of the data.
So what I'd like
the halo effect and everything.
The Taylor Swift night 3 of Taylor Swift's amazing 3 nights in Nashville Bash is currently being postponed for a few hours as they had to evacuate the stadium because of a severe thunderstorm warning. Does anybody what would you think about that as a PR nightmare, Sean? Talk to me about what you would do to handle that situation.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty much nothing worse, I think. Like, I planned out these grand opening events, man, and I was like, the entire time I'm planning them, I'm like, if it's cold or rainy, it's over. Like, I don't, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, yeah. And one of the days it did rain, we had to reschedule something, but like, I cannot imagine being responsible for scheduling one of these events. I know that a huge part of it is definitely, like, the backup plans and whatnot, but I mean, it's just so tragic. Like, all the customer service that has to occur now, the refunds and all the crap that they have to deal with.
Word on the street is she's performing later tonight. It's just been postponed a few hours, and they had to evacuate the whole stadium.
Oh God. I don't know how, like,
Stadium.
I mean, you probably don't prepare very well for a stadium evacuation. And, like, this, I feel like it's a pretty unique situation in terms of, like, event planning. That sucks.
Yeah, they were just like, have everyone leave. I mean, I don't know.
Taylor's going to have to get out there, and she's going to have to wear less clothing tonight or something to make up for it.
No.
Make up for it. One thing that was funny, it's funny that that's happening now, because here in Apex, they on yesterday they had like the biggest event of the year in Apex. There's like the whole downtown street is lined with like 200 plus tents of vendors, and like it's like a huge, basically like flea market style party in downtown. And it was totally supposed to pour all week on Saturday. It was supposed to pour, and they were like, it's a rain or shine event, like we're just doing it, it's just happening. And then on Saturday, out of nowhere, phenomenal sunny weather. So it's like, you know, it's like sometimes even when you plan for it to be super rainy and you just say, yep, we're just doing it, it still turned out to be an awesome day. So I can't imagine like trying to consistently plan massive events when it's like, it could be saying there's bad weather and now there's good weather, or it could be saying there's good weather and now we're screwed. You know, it's like, that's tough.
I imagine it's probably one of the hardest things about event planning, period. Like, I bet you if you listed like the most difficult parts of being an event manager, that's the weather, right?
Yeah, and you're thinking like, oh, freaking easy. We're in Bridgestone Arena. It's massive.
No,
it's indoors.
They're at Nissan, so it's outdoor.
Oh, no. They must have been so pissed when they found out it was Nissan instead of Bridgestone.
If it was Bridgestone, they would be fine, and the show would be like halfway done by now.
Oh,
But
that's terrible.
They broke the record for most attendance at Nissan Stadium on Friday night, with the first show at 70,000.
Oh, man.
So not only did they have to plan like this huge event, they had to plan it 3 nights in a row.
Yes.
Outdoors every night. Dude, that's insane. So she had 3 concerts in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what the ticket sales were the second night?
I slightly less. I mean, 60,000. Like, you know, I mean, like we're
And
talking
it's like,
about.
was it the same people?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Probably like a festival type thing where you can buy all 3 days, or
Just the 3 Taylor Swift shows instead of a bunch of different people.
Yeah, well, no, there was something this weekend in Nashville. There was an expected 470 something thousand people traveling to Nashville for a few different things.
oh man.
You know, Cinco de Mayo was one thing.
We were going to say Cinco de Drinko.
We had Taylor Swift going on. Trevor Noah had a show here this weekend. That guy who's not funny at all.
Right, by a show, do you mean like he was trying to suppress comedy in some way?
The show that he put on was yeah. It was
It was like a geriatric performance.
it was I don't know what kind of show Trevor Noah puts on in a live entertainment format, but from what I've seen from his resume, it's definitely not worth going to. And I can't imagine that many people did. In the world of metal, Lorna Shore was here with Gojira and Mastodon, which was at the Municipal. So that was pretty busy. And then there was a few other things that I can't recall right now that was bringing in people this weekend, which really made for a shit show. And then I think, all things considered, I would guess that the Taylor Swift, whoever's responsible for all that, was actually relatively happy with how it went, because it was supposed to rain the last 2 nights as well, and it didn't. So all things considered, they probably did have some sort of plan for rain, because it has been, if all 3 nights are expected to pour, then you probably have something put together for it.
Yeah, that's nice, actually. That's just crazy. Is that the first time anyone's ever done like their own concert in the same place 3 nights in a row? Like, I've never heard of someone doing that.
It's a big deal. I mean, it's her hometown show. She's from Hendersonville, so.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is where I got my car.
I know many more passionate fans than T Swift fans, or at least like just.
Yeah, they're all super gay though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they're passionate.
Like, literally, they're super gay.
Like, actually gay.
Like, why do all the gay chicks like Taylor Swift so much?
I mean, she's hot. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll tell you who loves Taylor Swift and isn't here right now is Dami.
Does he? He would love to.
He totally loves Taylor Swift.
She's got problems, man. Like, she's got real problems, I think. Like, what's her deal?
Like, are you talking based purely on song content?
I think she already has a new boyfriend, and wasn't there just a thing about
I thought she was
her?
about to get married.
Yeah. And it got broken off. I think she already has a new boyfriend.
Seriously? Should I
Yeah, look it up. I think it's like the guy from the 1975, like the lead singer. Look
Is
that up.
Taylor Swift still getting married? Now single Taylor Swift was never married to Joe Alwyn.
Let's go.
Yeah, now
It's full time.
yeah, so now single. And when was that article, Lucas?
April 10th of this year.
That was last month.
It was a month ago.
Less than a month ago. And then look up Taylor Swift Maddie something.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
Just type Maddie.
Like-
Matty.
Okay, Taylor Swift Maddie. Maddie Healy spotted at Taylor Swift's Nashville concert.
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago, it says Healy later denied that he and Swift were ever involved.
Well, this was like 2 days ago. He's already got a thing out. That's funny. No, I was like, what's her problem, man? What's her deal? She's got mental issues or something.
It says Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy seemingly confirmed speculation about their rumored romance when they were photographed together Saturday night.
She made some sort of gesture, from what I understand, at her show, maybe last night.
To mouth a secret message to each other. That's what this says. She's up on stage and she's like, it's a secret message. She's like, she's up on stage like
ciphers and code breakers are trying to crack this online.
I don't believe that she. I can't buy that she's dumb enough to mouth something secretive in front of 70,000 people. Like, there's just no way.
There's something wrong with her, bro. She's been doing this forever. She can't be by herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for far too long now to just call it like her early phase of her career.
Yeah.
It's like her whole career.
Like, Sean, maybe a month after you got out of your last relationship, was there a possibility that you'd be hopping right into a new dating situation?
No.
You know, it's just not normal human behavior.
No. Yeah.
And she's just like bouncing.
Well, I gotta wonder how much of it is performative or not. But you know, if it's like legit, then yeah, it's kind of psychotic to be just bouncing like crazy. But also, like, if you weren't like that committed, but she was about to marry the guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
It seems that way.
I mean, so like, yeah, supposedly, like, who knows?
And her fans love it. They encourage it. They actually, let me say this, her fans fucking hate her. And they don't know it. They love that she's like always got a new boyfriend and that she never falls in love.
And every time they're like, yeah, screw that other guy.
Yes.
He sucked.
Yes, just enable bad behavior.
Right.
Taylor Swift fans suck.
I don't get how people, and maybe this is just a me thing too, but like, I cannot get that passionate about loving a musician or like a famous person, I guess, like wanting to know all the intricate details of their life. Like I can be interested in the drama or whatever, but there's some people who are like psychotic about it, man. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, and look, I guess, you know, I was watching the F1 race today. Like, people have their own hobbies. Like, if that's your entertainment, I guess that's kind of the equivalent for me. But
I was gonna say you have a what I would call ridiculous and unnecessary amount of sports information crammed into your head. And it's not just about stats about things, it's about people. Like, you know, an extraordinary amount about people. So I don't know if that's true, Sean.
Yeah, you know, that's a great point. And then as I was talking about it, I was like, if I see it as it's a hobby for that person to be entertained by these other people's lives, like, that's what I do. That's all my hobbies too.
Right.
It's just for some reason the social media obsession may be part of it. I don't know. Like I certainly am not like posting
The social
about
media obsession is definitely more annoying because you're dealing with an annoying group of people. Like, you're dealing with girls who are young mostly, and those are the most annoying, insufferable people to look at on the internet because they have nothing to post except for narcissistic bullshit.
Yeah, dude, the stuff you see on Twitter is so hilarious. You just have to remind yourself, like,
it's like just not real life.
yeah, it's like this is not real. this is all of the crazy people.
Yeah, if you ever see a psycho in real life, just remember that might be the guy you're talking to on Twitter, presenting himself as a perfectly normal, logical. Like, they hide in the shadows because, and the reason why is because they don't know they're retarded.
So that reminds me, to switch topics, of a really weird thing that I saw on Twitter. It was basically saying that back when psychiatric facilities were in full swing, right, there were, it said something like the population in America was like 170 million back then, right? And there were like 590,000 people in psychiatric facilities for mental disorders that were supposedly, they were saying, dangerous to themselves, dangerous to others. And now the population of the U.S. is almost double that. It's like 320, 330, maybe 350 million. And the amount of people in those types of psychiatric facilities is basically like none.
Yeah,
like we've dropped it significantly. And so it makes you wonder, like, first of all, how did all of those people way back in like the 60s and 70s, what percentage of those people actually belonged there? And if it is any significant percentage of that 590,000 people, how many people, like, are there 1 million people in America today that would, like, that by 70 standards would be put in a mental facility? Because that's a lot of people. Like,
dude, I saw that tweet, and I will say my first reaction was like, what the hell? That's insane. And then I was like, okay, there could be like 50 reasons for that number to be how it is. I don't know anything about mental facilities, like what they looked like in the 70s versus what that even is today. Like,
that's the question for me, is what is that today? Because I know that it was like, they were basically facilities where you would take people, and it was like an old folks home, except not very accommodating at all. It was just all these people living with a bunch of doctors and basically being, there's a lot of movies on it. Like, there's a Robin Williams movie that's really good where he's in it's not Robin Williams, he's the doctor, and the guy is in a psychiatric hospital, and he's it's where they learned that L-Dopa could be used to treat Parkinson's disease, and there's a bunch of Parkinson's patients and other patients in this mental hospital. But we basically would gather them up like they were an old folks home and just keep them in there, you know? And so it's like, what, you know, some people do need to be kind of given into the care of a place like that, where it's like you could harm yourself, you could harm other people. But what is the equivalent that we do today? Because we don't have these big institutions where we, you know, like an insane asylum, you could call it in kind of derogatory terms. Like, we don't have that anymore. So is it just, you see a therapist now? Like, what has it become?
Yeah, I wonder like what the cutoff is. It's like if somebody was, and I'm sure there's an answer, but like if somebody was like autistic in the 70s, do you go to are you put in the friggin' mental home? Like,
right.
You know, so, but that was certainly an interesting statistic that could be worth
it was like the freaks and weirdos you see outside the gas station is who was in there.
Right.
Like, that's who was in there. The guys who are like, oh, these man, I'll tell you. Well, I saw it down the road there. And you're like, oh my God. This guy needs to be locked up.
Can I tell you guys about the time that I would say I almost got abducted at school. Did I tell you about that?
Tell me about that. Was this
I probably told you about it, but it was a couple of years ago.
Okay, tell me.
But it was 8 a.m. and I was going to get a COVID test back in the COVID prime at the Union here at school. And there was nobody really around because, first of all, nobody's really outside during COVID time, and I was walking into the Union, and a guy came up to me and said, like, hey, and he was well dressed and like relatively well spoken, and he's like, hey man, I really hate to bother you. I just ran out of gas over here. I'm right up the road. Is there any way that you could come with me and drive with me to the gas station? I left my credit card at home. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, man. Like, yeah, I'm not like an idiot, basically.
Yeah.
And later that day, I actually felt so uncomfortable that I called the cops, and it was clearly like a setup. I saw the car, it was set up, and the car had a driver in it. Like, it was just it wasn't good. And I called the cops. Cops said they were looking into it, and the next day, the cops called me back and said that they had arrested 2 guys who were trying to abduct students from campus. And that this wasn't the first time that it happened, and it had been happening over the last 2 weeks, and there had been multiple instances like mine. And it was just like, oh man.
Oh God.
Yeah, just like I never would have gotten in their car. Like, I'm not a dumbass. But I will say, and sorry this is a bad precursor because I don't blame this lady necessarily, but did you guys ever see or hear about the lady at Illinois who got abducted and murdered like a couple years ago, like 3 years ago? They made a Netflix documentary about it. Dude, it was
you should have gotten in the car, maybe? Sean. I feel like you should have gotten in and just seen what for the
see what's up
for the story.
Sean, you've seen John Wick, right? You could do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
What do they want with you? I mean, they're not going to rape you. They're not going for those plump little cheeks.
Yeah, maybe they're kill. I'll just be nice. Like, they start like saying they're gonna kill me. I'll be like, guys, it's cool,
fellas. I'm a guy.
Guys, it's fine. I'll give it up. Don't worry.
We can all love each other.
Join the squad. Let's recruit.
Yeah. What if
you guys don't know how convincing I am.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think your guy's strat is a little outdated. This is very 70s.
I could secure us some serious, bodies here.
I just started I do wonder. Sometimes I think about like if something like that happened. Like, what if I started like laughing? Like, you're just like, right. I'm just like, oh, dude, you guys suck at this, man. Like, come on, like, seriously.
You just this guy.
Like, the cops are right behind you. Like, they're following me. I got them on the phone. I just started bullshitting.
Okay, buddy, I'll get in the car. Guy's got a gun in his car. Ooh, we got a real prankster over here, guys.
Oh man, but almost the same situation. This lady, it was a foreign exchange student, was a big part of it, and she didn't quite understand how things like worked here, and that like her. To my knowledge, like, she just thought that Americans are friendly because Americans are very friendly compared to a lot of other places. And same idea. A guy just like pulled up to her. There's the security cam of it happening. Just pulled up to her at the bus stop. He had seen her miss the bus and pull up to her at the bus stop. And I was like, hey, I can drive you to the next place. Like, no problem. And it's like middle of the day, like I still would never get in the car, but it's like, it seems like a normal guy. And he kidnapped her and beat her head in with a bat after raping her. Crazy, man. Like, and the Netflix documentary is just insane. Like, it's just like, and they don't like talk about it here at all. It's kind of one of those like brushing under the rug situations. Like, and I'm sure it was a bigger deal. It was the year before I came to school, I believe. I'm sure it was a bigger deal then, but I never heard anything about it until this Netflix documentary about it. And it's crazy seeing like the streets, like right outside my apartment. This guy just plucks this chick off the street and friggin' goes and kills her, man. It's like, it's nuts.
He got her.
God, dude, he got her. Like, congrats, buddy. Like, I just don't understand how some people are so psychotic.
Yeah, that is brutal.
Crazy, man.
Pretty hardcore.
Totally.
I got in a car with this dude once. I did.
Which dude?
I was just walking.
The problem is, I totally got in the car with some guy.
I was walking to class just left outside my apartment, and this brother drives up in his car and he goes, "Hey man, I live right above you. I just saw you come out. You going to campus? I was like, yeah. He's like, you want to ride? I was like, sure. So I got in and he drove me right to campus, and then I got out.
Nice
But
guy.
my phone fell out of my pocket in his car. And I didn't realize until I was in the class. I was in the building.
Oh God.
Dude.
But he lives above you.
So I was like trying to knock on the door above me to see if he, or whatever, to see if he was coming back or what the dealio was. And finally I caught him like on his way in. I heard him at walking upstairs, and I was like, hey, I think I left my phone in your car. And he's like, oh, shoot. So we went outside, and he's like helping me look through his car, and we can't find it anywhere in his car. And he's like, all right, we gonna have to lift up the seat. So he pops the front of his seat all the way back and pulls it up out. And he's like, oh, I found it. He reaches under and he hands me. I was like, here you go, man.
Like, you're not the first. Nice guy.
Yeah, real sweetheart. Giving a good name to all the other people who want to steal and murder and rape. Just giving them a little bit of hope in the hearts of the people.
Right. It's terrible that guy can be so nice, and yet there are so many people that are just not nice. And like, you have that great experience with that guy, and then maybe you get the same vibes with another guy. And then that guy pulls a gun on you.
You're fucking dead.
You know when you're in the right area usually, though.
I don't know. I was like, okay, why would this guy want to kill me?
Right. He'd have to be really insane. And you're a terrible target.
Yeah, I say the fact he lives above you,
And he lives above you.
And I'm 6 feet tall. I'm a guy. It's like, I'm in college. Like, what, you want my money? Like, what do you want?
Yeah,
you want my money? Like,
yeah, the truth is that these are so few and far between. Most crimes are done because of gangs or money. Like,
well, it's
mostly a robbery.
I want to say 91% of murders are the murderer knows the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not. I mean, there's not that many psychos who just randomly kill people. Basically,
right? Basically,
just enough to keep it fun.
Yeah, it's kind of. I saw a thing on Twitter today that's kind of about this, where it's like, it was basically someone, and this happens all the time, where you make the blanket statement that men are significantly more violent than women, right? Like, as a whole, like, you make that statement, and it's like, okay, well, if you look at a certain stat a certain way, you can say, yes, men are significantly more violent than women, right? Like, if you look at violent crimes committed and like men in jail and all that type of stuff, but then it's also like kind of a two-sided coin, as most things are, because it's like, okay, well, what percentage of men are committing those like really violent crimes? And then it's like, what percentage of men and women are committing the same type of violence, right? Where it's like, women do hit men a lot in like domestic disputes and stuff like that. So it's like, is it that all men are significantly more violent, or is it that like the farthest reaches of a man going crazy just so happen to be extremely violent, and it's a really rare amount of men that are like that,
Yeah, I think the stat is, if you had 10 violent people in a room, 6 of them would be men.
Yeah.
But if men and women exist on a bell curve, men exist at the ends of it, and women tend to exist in the middle. Because women like stability, they don't move around very much, and this is true and this impacts every aspect of their life. So like Lucas was saying, is like, men are going to be probably the most violent and the least violent people on the planet, and women will live somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
where they'll be like, oh yeah, that, you know, I beat my man's when he got all up in my face with his word, with it, you know, if a guy, you know, but men are also going to be serial killers more often.
Right. That's what it's so weird how it seems so obvious. Like if I look at like certain data, right, it's like it seems so obvious that men are more violent, right? Like that's just what kind of like, but without taking into account some like, which happens constantly, without taking into account a plethora of variables and social interactions and like all these different data. If you just look at like how many men are in prison for violent crimes, how many, you know, of these are committed by men, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it seems like it just slaps you in the face that men are more violent. But then you really like dive deep and it's like, well, there is actually like a much different explanation for all of those things.
Yeah, men are also more violent with other men because we can be. Like women would be if they could be, but they can't fight men. Women can't get into physical fights with men, so they've learned to not do that. To use slander and gossip and things like this to achieve the same thing that men use physical violence for.
I mean, there's like you figure there's a biology aspect to it. I mean, you know, we're the hunters. Like we have to be aggressive. We're fighting each other. Like men, and if you just take it at face value, exactly, like we're just stronger. Like, what are the odds that the person who's stronger is more likely to be the more violent one? Like probably. So
yeah, I was also thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
About how that pertains to like how women are always talking about getting hit on and stuff, and how the whole conversation is like, man, when a girl hits on me and says I look hot or like says my ass looks good, you know, like something stupid, like something very objectifying, a man is like, that's freaking awesome, right? It's like that feels great. When a man does it to a woman, it's like they feel creeped out. They feel like you're being a dick. They feel like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know why I think that is because the man can't get physically harmed in that situation.
Yeah, like, exactly. The underlying fear of being harmed in a situation. Yeah.
Right. It's like me hitting on a woman in a maybe overdone way. She could be in physical risk. I can never be in physical risk of a woman, say, saying something inappropriate or even doing something inappropriate to me. I'm at no physical harm risk. I can stop her any time that I want, easily.
Yeah, exactly.
She can't. So it's like, I do get why the feelings are like, it's tough, you know, being a different gender, but you have to look at it through the way that someone who is actually at risk has to see things, you know?
Well, I figure I wouldn't feel if I was a woman and there's like some 5 foot tall guy, some 5 foot tall shrimp skinny guy, and I'm
we got some short king hate going on.
You're not going to be like in fear for your life probably as much as if some 6'2" guy walked up to you. So even if they say the same thing, act the exact same way, same mannerisms, don't touch them, I'm going to be a little bit more weary of the person who could kill me in 10 seconds than the person who can't.
But then again,
Sean's a little short king hater, but it's cool.
Short king,
hey, what's up, short kings? I'm pretty short, you know, or average.
Well, what about another scenario where the tall guy is really good looking and he's tall and he's sexy?
Different situation.
That's why sexy sexy serial killers are the best at their job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. I think that a normal woman who is not like I'm still going to be at least weary of the sexy person, but they're definitely easier to overcome the objection. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting when I saw someone talking about those stats on Twitter.
That is pretty interesting.
So many ways to look at the differences between us. I've been on Twitter a lot recently, and there is so much crazy stuff going on, man. It's so weird. It's like in the transgender realm, things are just really hitting a peak with the whole Bud Light thing, and the finally a company, because we've seen it for like many years in a row now, where companies that, as Sean would surely agree, don't give a crap about any of these activist things, right? Like these bigwigs at this company are just thinking about money, right? And they are just mindlessly doing all of this, gay pride, blah blah blah, all this stuff that they don't care about. They don't support it with money. They don't support it in any way. They're like, yeah, make a poster and make it seem like we care about this, and we'll make a bunch more money, right? Well, finally, Bud Light tries this, and they get F'd in the A. Their sales drop like 26% in a month, and they're apologizing. They're like, oh, we didn't know. all the like people that run Bud Light are like, we didn't know that she was gonna like double down on this, or that she didn't speak to us. We don't know about this vice president lady. And it's like, finally, these corporations that are just totally BSing everyone are getting hit for doing something disingenuous.
Well, we talked about this before, but like up till now, and I was honestly surprised about how much fallout there was from this. Like, I thought it would just end up being net neutral, just because I'm a classic, like, if you say the word Bud Light out loud on a podcast, like, it's probably a good thing.
Right.
And most of the time that is the case. And up till now, like, when companies have done something like that's pride based or whatever based, like, it doesn't, like, if you, Lucas, see that, or if somebody who's like not as, I don't know, flamboyant or into that, if they see that, it's just kind of a net neutral, like, it doesn't really like affect them.
Right.
And then the people who are into that and really passionate about it, they see that and it makes them more likely to buy that item. And so that's why corporations were still doing it, because obviously the trade-off of, and again, you're so right, it has nothing to do with anything besides money. So like, it was net neutral to the people who were against it or not into it as much, and a net positive to the people who were into it a bunch. And so why not do it if I'm a company? It makes tons of sense. I would absolutely approve every campaign that has to do with that. And the fact is, if a ton of them were out there and it was helping their sales in some way, and this is the first one that I've seen, at least, that has become like a pop culture situation and like actually had real firm pushback of like, okay, we're going to kind of boycott this or like make different decisions as consumers. And it's been very interesting as somebody in the business world to see it all happen.
Bud Light just sucks. That's the main problem. It's a
Everyone
bad
was
beer.
ready to bail on that beer anyway.
Everybody was ready to get out of Dodge. Everybody was ready to get out of there. Like, if you like, nobody likes the taste of Bud Light. Okay, you almost like it because it doesn't taste like beer. It tastes like water. Like, that's why you drink it. Like, if you wanted a Bud, you'd get a Budweiser, and you would drink that. If you're getting a Bud Light, that means, oh, it's in this cooler right here. I'm at this party. It's hot. And then you just trick yourself into thinking that's going to hydrate you, because you've already had 4 other ones.
I can't say that I've heard somebody say like Bud Light is my favorite beer, because I've heard that a lot with Miller, Michelob, Corona, even. Like, I swear I don't know anybody who is like, my absolute favorite cheap beer is Bud Light. Like,
you're right. It's funny you mentioned Michelob. I also like the guys who are like, I ain't getting that queer Bud Light, but let me get some Mickey Ultra. Also owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
It's like,
it sucks. Like, I wonder what this movement could have done if they had just done the research on what products Anheuser-Busch makes. Like, would the sales have dropped like 40% if they knew?
Yeah, these idiots just couldn't figure out how to boycott.
Oh god.
I will say, like, I like Michelob. Like, I'm not gonna like stop drinking the beer, but
I don't really like Michelob. It's too watery.
Really? I like it. I don't know. I like the Michelob Ultra.
The Miller is much more beery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do like the beery, bready taste at the end. That's what you're looking for.
I had a killer IPA at the Illinois baseball game over the weekend, and I'm kind of developing an IPA taste.
This episode brought to you by which IPA?
It was a local brewery's IPA, so
that's exactly what you need.
And what you're saying is you didn't take the time to learn the name of it.
Blind Pig Brewery.
The Blind Pig Brewery.
Shout out to them. They're about a half mile from my apartment, and they have a killer IPA.
Nice.
Was it hazy? Was it light? Was it dark? Was it heavy?
It was light. I got a light one, and it was killer. It was aggressive, but it still. I don't know how to describe it because I don't like dark IPAs that much typically or anything. So I
wasn't too bitter at the end, I
wasn't
assume.
too bitter at the end, but it was still like clearly different than like a normal beer.
Yeah, it was juicier.
Yeah.
I like
Kind
the
of the
space
flavor.
dust.
Flavor.
If we're going bitter, I like the space dust.
The space dust is probably the best bitter one I've had, and especially because you consider it's 8.2%. So it's like, well, I'm getting what I what I pay for here.
Yeah, dude, you're like drinking wine over there.
Yeah, dude.
Right. Exactly. I want my beer to be 15%.
I want my beer to be liquor.
You go too far up the IPA scale, it just turns into whiskey.
That's funny. If somebody's like trying to get a 40% IPA.
Yeah, I wonder how high you could get it, like beer liquor. It's like
Beer
20%.
There's probably something at every percent that exists.
Should I see like the highest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
percent?
Google highest percent IPAs or
Yeah.
sours or whatever it would be.
Dial that up.
A sour would be really high.
67.5% alcohol by volume. Snake Venom is officially the world's strongest beer.
Snake venom.
Like I imagine that it's just like a 1 ounce of Miller Lite and then just
And they,
Like,
if they manage to make it not taste like liquor, that's pretty impressive because I'm guessing it tastes a lot like liquor.
Yeah, I mean it's 67.5%, dude.
Yeah, that's
like
that's a liquor and a half.
135 proof.
Yeah, most
That's great.
liquors are 40%.
Good math, Lucas.
That's really high.
Let's see. Currently recognized
Nice
as the strong
burp.
Snake Venom. Keep in mind and it's made by Brewmeister. Currently
Oh.
recognized as the strongest beer in the world.
I like their name, Brewmeister.
Brewmeister. It's classy, but it's like simple.
Yeah.
It is
German.
brewed in Moray. I don't know what Moray is. From smoked peated malt using 2 varieties of yeast, 1 beer and 1 champagne. Like other ultra high strength beers, it is frozen several times after the fermentation process, and the ice crystals get removed. So they freeze it,
water out of
They're
it.
remove all the
Dewatering.
water,
That's
and
fun.
it concentrates the alcohol flavor and body of the beer as water is removed each time. The beer is then
pretty good.
fortified with alcohol to increase the strength further.
Wow.
Oh, God. Should be treated more like a spirit with regards to its consumption.
We should try it. We should find some.
Yeah, let's find some. I swear to you, I'll Amazon some right now.
Yeah, where do they sell it?
What was it called, Lucas?
It was
Snake
called
Venom.
Snake Venom.
And what a great name for the strongest beer in the world.
By
Hard to find
Beerheiser?
whiskey.
What the hell are they called?
Oh, it's not cheap.
No, it's going to be a liquor priced.
Shopping.
High-end liquor
Oh.
priced. Well, how much is it?
Oh yeah, a bottle of snake. They're literally calling it whiskey. A bottle of Snake Venom is like $60.
Jeez, dude. Yeah, I got one at 80 here. It's crazy.
Wow.
Sounds like a good deal.
I mean, it's
Okay,
probably,
so now we know.
I mean, it's eight IPAs worth of alcohol or whatever, 6.5.
So is anybody else excited about Wings of Redemption fighting Boogie this weekend?
That's
I didn't even know it was this
wait,
week.
what? Dude, Zach, I think Lexi and I are coming with the parents,
So
so
you'll be
I'll
ready to watch
at your
it?
place to watch it.
So you'll be ready to
honestly,
watch it live and in person?
Dude, that's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Guys, I just realized I think I can. As I'm going to be on the cruise next week, I was like, what if I did a cruise pod? But I'm not going to bring the computer, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring my mic. Yeah, damn.
You should bring your
Yeah.
mic.
Yeah, just bring the computer.
I'm pushing it as it is. My sister's picking me up in the plane, and so I'm only bringing a carry-on suitcase for the 8-day trip.
Oh, wow.
So I'm spreading it.
What the hell
already.
is the point of her being able to fly you places if you can't bring your shit?
I know. I need to lose a little more weight. That's what she said. She's like, she's like, well, if you weighed $150, then you could bring your shit. But, but
Oh, that's
How
brutal.
much cargo can she bring?
it's plenty, but she's got to bring all her shit too, and she's got more shit than me. So
Dang, she's not splitting the pot with you, bruh.
she's been, you know how it is, man. Like, you know, she knows I can survive on my exactly 7 days of clothes.
That's
And-
tough.
And she needs all her outfits and stuff. So
We have to drive about 9 hours to get to our cruise ship.
that's
And
tough.
there's 5 of us, and we only have 5-person cars.
That's
so I
real
volunteered
cute.
to drive.
That's real cute,
Dude, good
Lucas.
decision.
That's a really cute drive you have to make down there, Lucas.
Yeah,
Yeah, Zach has to go a lot farther.
No, I'm stopping in Atlanta, staying at Abby's parents for the
oh,
night.
nice.
It's a good idea.
So it makes it
How far
like
is it from Nashville?
12 and a half, 12:45.
That's ass.
But I'm taking 5 off of that with this stop. Plus the
Smart.
time switch, happens, so I can actually sleep in at Abby's an extra hour and still get there at the same time. It's all very genius of me.
You're very
That is
smart.
genius.
So yeah, we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna be in absolute prime time shape for this cruise.
Oh yeah. When's
Hell yeah.
You want me to, dude? I'll help you however you want to be helped. I'll get you.
I'm there. I'm day one's done. I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah. What's your budget?
You know what? I don't recall, and I can't even look right now because my phone is my webcam. I think it's like 1640 or something like that.
That's
low.
pretty light for. I mean, how tall are you? Like
6 foot.
foot even? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's light.
it's 2 pounds a week.
Yeah. No. And you'll hit it. You'll fucking crazy, man. Shout out to Lose It, our sponsor of the video.
Yep. Tried and tested.
Tried and tested. My boy Adam, he friggin' since March 1st, he's down 22 pounds using that app.
Oh my goodness.
Insane. He's running like a maniac too.
Oh yeah, he does that.
But yeah, it's crazy. You just gotta follow it. I ran a mile today in 7:28.
Nice.
And I was double proud of it because a month ago I ran a mile as hard as I could in 8:17. So
Wow.
Very
That's
nice.
a big jump. 7:28 is fast.
Catching up to Riley.
no. Like, it's unbelievable to me. That kid can almost lap me right now running a mile. Like, what? I'm out there like dying today, and I was thinking about that. I was like, Riley would literally almost have lapped me by now.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, that's insane.
God, man.
he's goated.
God.
He's the goat.
Like, it's faster than I can sprint. He's running at that pace the entire time, faster than I can make my body move. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
man.
they go like 11 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's
Crazy.
goated.
He is.
So here's what I'm curious about, Sean. Your cruise is pretty close. Does your cruise? Oh, you have the alcohol package. That's right. Does your cruise allow you to bring a bottle of something?
I don't think so. Or at least I'm not. I mean, I didn't try or ask, but yours does.
Yeah, the Carnival allows it.
Huh. Like
every-
one bottle or-
Yeah,
Not of
one bottle of
liquor.
wine or champagne.
Oh, interesting.
But
Yeah,
it's
which is
like-
a real asshole move. Like, they could easily allow a bottle of liquor if they can do that. They just
Well,
don't
yeah.
want to.
And the thing is that if you're allowed to bring a bottle of something, they're not gonna be checking that. Like it'll be
The bottle, like, is that
right. And so we've been thinking about all sorts of ways in which one could potentially sneak more alcohol on, so that you don't have to pay for the drink package. And there's lots of good ones.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should try. I think it'd be kind of funny. Like, they're not going to kick you off.
Right, that's the whole. All it says on the website is that like you're subject to have it confiscated, and it won't be like paid for or returned to you. It's like
Yeah,
okay, like okay,
Here we go. Game on. Like,
right. And so it's like there's all sorts of funny ones online. There's the Listerine bottle,
Which I'm a big fan of.
You take off the wrapper. You get the giant Listerine bottle. You take off the wrapper, but kind of keep it preserved.
Uh-huh.
And then you either use all the Listerine, pound it down the sink, and then fill it with like clear liquor, right? And drop some food dye in it because food dye is edible, and you make it some weird color, like like the blue of a Listerine that would never be anywhere close to an alcohol, right? Like Zach's got it right here.
Yeah, I've got a Listerine.
Yeah. So the trick is gonna be, so I can fill this with Tito's, right? and then put a little food coloring
he missed you explaining the food dye
so
part.
that it's the exact color, right? But I'm gonna need one of these as reference so I can get the color exactly perfect. And then, yeah, we're gonna need to, like, you can probably see that plastic seal. That's gonna be the hard part.
Yeah, you got to get that off and then hair dry it so that it tightens back up. And then you've got a whole bunch of liquor.
We'll have to watch some tutorials.
Well, and the other interesting thing that Mom was talking about was basically like they brought, like she literally just brought 2 bottles when you're only supposed to bring 1 on our last cruise. You just put it like in in your suitcase, and they put it, and nothing happened. Yeah. And then, well, one of the funniest part is that Dan says, as they're giving it to the people that deliver it to your room, he drops the guy a 20 burger, and Jill doesn't. And they show up to the room, and all the alcohol is in our stuff, and Jill's got confiscated. And then he's like, seems like there's some sort of correlation here. Colliers, I don't know. He's like slipping him a 20. He's like, thank you, brother.
I mean, so the problem is like with the drink package, the problem is like, of course, they make you do it per room. Like everybody in the room has to buy it. So like for us, that'd be $1,600.
Oh God, it's terrible.
It's like I could justify buying one.
Right. My issue is that you leave the boat all day for 3 days of the cruise.
Yeah,
so it's like that feels like some of those days, and then they limit you to what, like 15 a day. So it's not like even if you were gonna try and do it for
Sean, you gotta try and beat it. You gotta try and get cut off. Sean, please. One of the days you have to try and get cut off. Like wake up, start.
Oh God, dude.
Wake up, start drinking mimosas. Like, mimosas are great in the morning. Just have a little mimo. And moving into lunch, you switch to beer. You're having a couple light beers, Bud Lights. You're having a couple Bud Lights, throwing them back, what's funny? I saw, and not to jump back to that, I saw Anthony Cumia. Anthony Cumia calls him Dylan Mulvaney Dick. But I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, so you're throwing a couple of those back, and then later into the afternoon, you're like starting to like, oh man, maybe I'll have a glass of wine with dinner, and so you're on like 8, 9. All you got to do is have like 6 more at the club, and get cut off, and then you're like, yeah, ladies, buy me something.
I wonder what's tracking that too. It's like, would you actually get cut off?
Yeah, they swipe your card every time. I think that's yeah, like regardless of if you have the drink package, they still swipe it. So
could you talk the guy into it though, not swiping it?
I'm persuasive.
You say, look, man, I had those first 4 by 9 o'clock this morning, man. Like,
that'll really make him feel good about giving you more.
like, can we make an exception?
No, here's what you say. Hey, buddy, I will ruin your fucking life if you don't give this to me right now. Okay, buddy?
Pull out this bad boy. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Pull out the
Bust out the breathy.
Like, hey, look, it's cool. I'm good. And I like pass to my sister or something to blow on it or whatever. Yeah, I'm good. But no, I want to be careful, man. I was getting, this weekend I went out, like really went out on specifically Friday. And I got drunker a lot quicker than I used to get drunk. And I was like, I best be careful. Do you guys remember Joe at your house? Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
Like, that's the idea, man. It's like, dude, I was scared.
Yeah, that was crazy. He got it real quick.
he had like 4 drinks and
he's like falling all over.
I remember my mom saying, guys, Dad's just tired. He's just tired. He's just had a long day. And well, Joe's like slapping his way to the car.
I'm not tired.
That's the only time I've ever seen Joe drunk.
And you
Wide awake. Kids, I'm awake.
He was he was talking to us in the car. I was like, Mom,
drive home. Give me the keys.
I was like 14 or something. I'm like, Mom, I understand what's happening here. Okay,
right. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Speaking of, can I just mention that Dan looked so sexy in every Facebook picture I've seen of him this week. And I hope that he knows. And I know he knows, but I just have to remind him on almost every podcast how incredibly gorgeous looking he is. Like, the way that man has aged. Okay, it's outstanding.
Oh man, yeah, it's unfortunate because I know that the shaving of the lower part of the beard mustache combo is going to soon result in the elimination of the mustache, I think.
Right.
But you're right. He was looking pretty cool with his hat and mustache.
Oh man, the glasses too.
Oh yeah, it really comes together well. Let me see if it'll show up here on my.
Oh yes, please show the picture. Yeah.
Oh man, there we go.
Yeah. He kind of looks like a thumb with a mustache.
He does. There you go. Shout out to Dan for looking so goddamn good. Yes. He commented something nice on my, or he commented like Ryan Reynolds or something on my Facebook profile.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just trying to look like Dan Domberg. Like, someday if I look like Dan Domberg, then that's a successful ass life, You
gotta grow that stash out, man.
Oh man, I did it for a couple weeks. Remember?
I know you betrayed yourself.
Yeah, I just like the scruff better, but I'll go back to it sometime. Probably like when I'm like 25, 26, I'll rock the stash.
I wonder how long it would get. Like, could you really get some?
No. It doesn't grow that long. Because I've left it for a decent amount of time, and it kind of seems like it caps out at a certain time. But
your mustache doesn't have drip potential.
No, nothing like old Dano. But nobody in my family's ever had a mustache that I can think of. Extended family, nothing.
No Asano mustaches. I mean, mustaches aren't really a Middle Eastern heritage type of thing. It's more of the beard.
Yeah, the nice full beard. Mm-hmm. My man, Baba's been bald for so long. I don't know if you guys knew that. He has like a hairpiece.
I didn't know that.
Really good hairpiece.
It must be good.
It's good. He's got a dial because I didn't know he was bald for at least like most of my life. Like seriously, I was like 15 and he takes his hairpiece off. I'm like, what the fuck, Baba?
I'm picturing him
You've been
bald.
lying to me.
Oh my God. Just imagining him bald right now, and it's awesome.
So I'm gonna need you to walk me through that again. Was it like that casual? Did he like?
Yeah, help me understand. Very clearly, it was in their old house, and I had never. So he takes it off only at night, like really late at night. Okay. And he's very insecure-ish, or he just likes how he looks with the hairpiece better. And I don't know if he was hiding it from us on purpose or anything, but there just never been a time when I was like, I saw him after he like went into his bedroom to go to bed. Right. You think about like with your grandparents, like it's like, good night, guys, good night, and the kids stay up a little later maybe, and then go to bed. So he just walks out and he's bald. I'm like, you didn't like want to communicate this? He's like, I mean, I thought you guys just like knew. I'm like, no, like, dude,
he's hilarious. Imagine he's been hiding it the whole time. He went to bed, popped it off, realized he forgot to take his medication, and he just walked back out and forgot that he had it off. And
that's basically what it was. Like he came back in the kitchen to get some water or something, and I was just like so confused. And I think my sister knew somehow. I was like, how did I miss the memo here? I was somewhere between like 13 and 15. Like I remember it very clearly. This
crap
in there. And honestly, like since that, I don't think I've seen him without it on.
Wow.
Like, I think it's just the one time. And this whole conversation started with there's some old pictures of him that came up where he rocked the bald look and had the full like like dark beard going, and he looked pretty hardcore.
That's funny, dude. Just the image of someone leaving the room and then returning to the room bald.
That's what happened, man.
You're like, did you cut it?
Like, imagine Sean gets up to go to the bathroom right now, comes back to the podcast, and he sits down and he's just bald. And he's, oh, you guys didn't know? Oh, yeah, I'm bald.
It's my toupee.
I didn't note it in my head as like a crazy thing was like the way he was just so casual about it, and like just like duh, like yeah, bald.
Like, yeah, duh.
Yeah, well, he had to play it off after you busted. It's like, well, I was never hiding it. I mean,
okay, and then now just flip the switch. If I was bald, and that's it. I guess.
God, what if one of us was bald and was hiding it from the other ones?
We'd have some good ass hair, but you guys didn't know, right? Like,
no.
Hairpiece. Like I had no idea. Same hairpiece he's always had. Like
it would be Colin, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Colin,
well,
dude, he's gonna be so
he's bald all the way up to like right here.
He's bald until that little squirrel on his head.
Like you were so mean to him about his hair at one time,
and he just takes it. He just.
Oh man, dude! It was like we were like just sitting here, just like hanging out. Colin, put a hat on.
I thought he knew how bad it was, but apparently he disagrees.
I mean,
I thought he was just aware. I thought he got a bad slice. We were all
like just one of those, like you get a bad haircut.
Yeah. Oh, that is bad,
okay,
Colin. And so,
but
he's sitting there like, I showed him this picture, like, and then Braxton got that awesome.
Oh yeah,
Braxton
Should
got
I
a cut.
see if that one will show? Oh wait, I don't think I have
Braxton has a shockingly similar cut to the way Colin likes it. And Braxton hated it so much he buzzed his whole head.
Oh man,
I don't think that the look Colin has is a look.
I mean, whatever he's got going on right now is a lot. I think better than
it
the
is.
One.
Nobody has like a number 3. There's no tapering around, like up around the hairline, and on the back is completely
It kind of reminds me of the cut where you shave it and then do a bun. With the top hair long, except the top hair isn't long enough to make a bun. It's just like hair.
Didn't he do a bun one time? Or am I crazy?
He really wanted one.
He wanted
and he
a Machine Gun Kelly bun.
Yeah, but he had the flow. And then he never...
I thought he should bring that back. I thought that was cool with baseball anyways.
It was really cool. I love long hair.
Yeah, the flow was way, way better. It looked great.
It did. And he never turned it into a bun. Like, he never did the shave Machine Gun Kelly bun. He didn't do any of that. I think he just cut it.
And then, I think his rationale was that it was too much work. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, you take like 2, 3, 4 showers a day. Like, you put in the work anyway.
This guy loves the work.
Yeah.
You know?
He does.
And my hair is honestly no work at all.
Yeah, I shower and get out and dry it, and this is what it looks like.
I actually woke up like this right here.
Nice. You'd think I'd actually like have to put some product in here or something, but
it just stays up. You just don't shower for 10 days and then
you just never shower. It gets nice and
never shower. You never have to do it.
Started the rumor that I don't shower. Is that Colin or was that you, Zach?
Zach
I think
likes
it was
to start
Colin.
rumors.
Just to stir the pot.
Sean, I don't start rumors and I don't stir pots.
You don't start unbased rumors.
No, I don't. I do. I don't know if I start rumors. I heard that Sean starts a lot of rumors.
It's like we need to go on a segment of defending the Sean looks like Steve Harvey bit.
Oh God.
We need a little segment of court rulings on that.
Yeah, we should do that. Well, let's do that next week. Let me prepare a slideshow.
Yeah. Oh, a slideshow of Sean looking like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, let me prepare a presentation for next week.
Okay, perfect.
The problem is, guys, is I agree with you now.
I mean, that one
took a little convincing, but the face structure is somewhat similar.
It's there.
There's some photos where you're like, whoa.
There was the one. I think he's in a red suit. I hope you put that in the slideshow.
It'll be in the show.
Certainly.
It'll
I was
be.
like, I mean, it was pretty remarkable.
I'll do a couple things. I'll do that. I'll do you look like Steve Harvey. I got to come up with something that Dami looks like because that just seems like there's a lot of ammunition there. Right off the top of my head, Baljeet.
Baljeet, an Indian. Well, you know what's really funny is Trafton loves to call Dominic an Asian. He's like,
He
well,
looks kind of Asian.
He's like, well, Dami's a freaking Asian, and he's like, I am not Asian.
It's the
I'm
glasses.
Mexican.
He actually
Mexicans
does like,
don't wear glasses.
Okay, wait. Let me write that down.
I heard that. I heard that somewhere. Somebody was telling me.
I think it's also he's got kind of smooth, like he's got that smooth jaundice skin almost.
Yeah.
I think it's the white mixed with the Mexican.
Yeah.
Because he's half white.
Yeah.
So I think that combo makes him look a little Asian.
It does make him look a little late. Man, it was pretty funny. I walked into work the other day at Cinco de Mayo, and everybody in the back is like from Honduras. And I'm walking around, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Like just because they speak Spanish.
Just because I think it's funny. Like I know that it's totally different, but they hate when people call them Mexicans. Because they're not.
Oh, that's
But I was
awesome.
just like, Happy Independence Day.
I can imagine it'd be funny if you went to like Asia and they're like, "Hey, the British are here."
Yeah.
Right. And we're like cheeseburger.
Right.
You want some
It
fish?
would be, it is kind of hard because like I get that there are different accents, Spanish accents, but they're much harder to differentiate between than English and British. You know, American English and British English and American English and Canadian English. You know, you could differentiate those real easily.
Right. It's like Australian and British. It's like, okay, those are obviously differentiable if you know English.
Yeah.
But you know, Australian and British accents they're
Pretty
kind of
similar.
similar if you don't know English.
I mean, I bet you when they're speaking in their native language, it's much more easy to differentiate if you're Spanish speaking. I bet.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably. Yeah, probably.
between Spanish and Mexican.
Well, I
Well,
know
and it's
that-
also like if you're from the UK, you can recognize like if someone is from like way more south.
Yeah,
it's
that's
in
the only.
America.
He
You
said,
can tell too.
but that's the thing. Like British people apparently can't really tell language differences other than like deep South, Boston, and then everybody else sounds the same in America to them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like it's notice for me.
I think so. But there's definitely you would notice things. You would notice stuff. Mm-hmm. Minnesota.
Yeah, like Minnesota. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. A boot.
Wisconsin.
I'll boot that.
And like there are certain different types of Southern that you can almost tell apart, you know, where it's like someone will be like really big time Southern drawl and other
Hey,
people
y'all.
will just say certain words a little differently where it's like, okay, you're not like, you know,
Hey, y'all,
you're not
how's it
making
going?
moonshine out in the woods,
You're
you
not.
know?
Yeah, there are some people that need like subtitles.
Right.
The first time I went south, I like obviously like I understood what a southern accent sounded like, but like hearing somebody actually talk like that in person, like really talk like that. I think I was in Arkansas, you know, and yeah, I was just so, like you can barely understand.
I was out putting gas in my car, but I get my holler, but my gas in my car.
I was like, what is
doing
he
the
saying?
back, heading over to the Bear and went over it.
Wait, ran over it. The best part about it is when you make a phone call to a company and a woman answers and has
That
like an
is hilarious.
awesome Southern accent. It actually happens every time at Campbell when I call my school, or like when my school calls me. It's a lady with a easy to understand soft Southern accent, and you get done with the phone call and you're like, Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice phone call.
I thought you were gonna say it's hilarious or it's great when you call and there's a woman. That's always hilarious.
It is good. It is good. But no, like I will say there is nothing more, and I bet there's science on this, but like a kind, super Southern speaking woman talking slowly and with lots of descriptive words, is very comforting.
Maybe
for
wearing
sure.
a low cut dress.
Okay. We're on the phone.
I can hear your dress through the phone. It sounds magnificent.
I can almost hear your tits from ears, sweetheart.
God, that's like those old Howard Sterns where he'd have Pamela Anderson on and he'd be like, let me feel your breasts right now and take your panties off while I'm feeling. It's just like she's sitting right in front of him. And he's just like, he goes, oh, big deal. It's just skin. He's like, and I'm Howard. I'm practically a doctor.
Like that would make it okay, like him being a doctor.
I'm a doctor. I'm allowed to touch breasts. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you guys want to play? What was this game called again?
What was it called?
Something Gark.
Oh, we were gonna do the drawing game, right?
Radial Gark. What is it?
Gartic phone.
Yeah, I
so-
don't know why it's called Gartic.
Me neither.
I don't know what that means. Sounds Irish.
Gartic.
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 Welcome to the Gartic.
The
All right, let's
Gartic
here we go.
fan.
I'm so dialed.
It's game time. If only we had a game time soundboard thing, like.
Oh, it's game time.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Let's do this. I'm excited.
All right.
So just you'll have to just kind of follow along here with how to play this. They say it's better with 4 people, but it's pretty good with 3. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we've played it once before, if I remember how to play.
So I'm going to try and commentate this while I'm doing it here. So we have to write a random sentence here, and then what's going to end up happening is somebody else is going to have to write or draw one of the sentences that we wrote, and then the third person is going to have to go ahead and guess what the original sentence was. So you lose a little bit within like a telephone fashion here. So my sentence is going to be this.
All right, I got one. This game is,
It was funny because me and Zach both did Pickle Rick.
that was weird. Why did you guys both do Pickle Rick?
No reason. I think we maybe were talking about Rick and Morty earlier in the episode. That's it.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a great sentence.
Oh God.
Okay, let's see here.
I like
Dude,
I kind of like the verbiage that this person used.
This person has made it very challenging to me. Crap, is there? Dude, why is the eraser so fucking hard to use? You make it, make it bigger.
I feel
Oh,
like I guess I really can't say what I feel yet.
Yeah, you gotta wait. I think I'm gonna get the job done with this. Let's see here.
I got no chance. Really none.
Oh man, this.
I haven't even started.
Oh man, kind of went giraffe with it.
Like, how the fuck do I draw this? There's no way.
This is tricky.
What I don't like is the. Oh God. The time limit makes it pretty hard.
The time limit does make it hard, dude.
Hey, how much time do I have?
Oh
Mine's not even that funny.
This is so bad, dude. There's nothing. There's just no way I can make this happen. Like, why?
It doesn't look anything like.
Okay, mine's done.
I feel good about mine.
I don't at all.
All right, hold on a second.
I can't wait to see whoever got mine.
Dude, mine's terrible. I'll tell you what, dude. I swear to God, I will go eat a raw egg right now if anybody guesses what the hell I just drew.
Oh God, yeah,
Okay.
mine's really bad.
There's no way, dude.
I put something in for scale to help. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh God.
Oh God, I have to describe this scene. Oh God. I feel like this was Sean right here. What is this?
What am I looking at?
Snake.
It just looks
Apple.
like a squirrel next to a tree.
Don't be confused.
I'm very confused. I mean, he's got a dump truck. It looks like.
Yes.
Arctic phone. I like how it doesn't give you much time to figure out what that is.
Like I need to take in the scene here.
All right.
Let's see how we did.
I'll bust us through this. Here's my album. So we got a worm, touching a telephone pole. It was mine. Sean drew.
Let's see what he drew.
Sean drew. I can't really tell. Why is there an apple?
So the thought process was telephone pointing to the pole.
Okay.
Okay, and then the worm's touching the pole.
How is the worm touching it?
It's his arm.
Okay. A snake on a table with a phone. I think that's a fair guess.
How do you draw a worm?
What do we got here? We got
you put little segments.
Southern lady on the phone.
do we
Lucas
got here?
drew.
Yeah.
And I, of course, said a Southern lady in a low-cut dress on the phone.
I'll take that as a perfect answer. That is perfect.
Guess is straight up not low cut. Like you just wanted it to be.
He had it perfectly. He just had to have it be low cut.
And then
Now, here's what I
Lucas's-
said. A bear with monstrous booty cheeks.
and I, of course, drew.
I gotta see this.
He drew a squirrel with monsters.
Oh my god.
The tree was for scale.
Why would you put the tree in there?
It's much bigger than a squirrel.
There's clearly a squirrel. There's something
big
more squirrel-like. Look at that
Look
thing.
at those clappers.
I like how his left
King
leg
Arthur could
is
not
clearly
remove
like
me
a
from those
tumor.
trees.
Oh my god.
All right, let's
Run it
play.
back.
Let's play again. Hold on.
more?
Wait, normal. What is normal?
Yeah, like what's the difference?
Yeah, and I can't change anything. So what does it mean normal?
Okay, well that's dumb.
That is dumb.
Maybe we need more people.
Maybe.
Maybe we
play
need to
different
call in
modes.
Colin.
That makes sense.
Call in Colin. See if he wants to play Gartic real quick.
Huh.
But we'll run one more while we're waiting. Somebody text him.
There's
Okay.
no way that Colin wants to join.
All
All
right.
right, my son here.
My
Write a
sentence here is going
sentence.
to be
Let me think here. Something easy enough. You want something easy enough to draw, but also like funny, right?
I think that mine's pretty good.
Mine's decent.
I think it's kind of fun to go like somewhat more specific than you think you should in this because okay.
Oh God, what is this? All right, let's see here.
All right.
Okay, how do I signify that he is what he is?
I wish I could zoom in on my photograph. Because-
Yeah, to make it like extra nice.
Yeah. Let me start over. I already don't like it.
I'm just so bad at art.
I think the key
I know.
is to think about what your drawing's going to look like before you start and then go for it.
All the first thoughts that come to my head are like just writing out the words of the prompt, and I need to not do that.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Right.
Can you write any words? You can, right?
Yeah, I mean it goes against.
Yeah,
the
because some
spirit.
things are kind of like. It's like tough. Let's see here.
This one's tough. This is a good prompt.
I wonder whose it is.
Definitely yours, Lucas.
I bet it's fun getting to watch Zach draw right now.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, the viewers are in for an actual funny ass treat. How much time do I have left? Oh, I need to hurry.
Do I go for 4 yogurt bars in the night?
Wow.
It's really.
Four?
I really want one.
All right. I got mine in.
I'd be pretty impressed if somebody got mine.
Oh wait, mine's not done. No, wait.
Oh god. Oh. Oh no, bro.
And now it's done.
Mine's pretty good. Oh God.
Now it's your turn to just go.
God.
Holy crap.
Let's see what we,
I mean, what the hell was the prompt here?
see what we got. Okay, I think I have Sean's drawing here. Oh God, my webcam. I think I've got Sean's drawing here because this is poor quality.
Dude, I have no idea.
Sean, you just have to type what you see, man.
Yeah, and my webcam is gonna fuck this whole thing up. Oh God, it's.
Oh, I didn't finish
I
typing.
didn't
Fuck.
either. Why did the
Dude, why
time?
is it so short?
Well, then we'll just have to say what we thought it was.
All right. That works.
All right. Go forward here. Okay, so I said a
baseball
baseball player with an amazing haircut and a nice ball sack.
Yeah, I was going.
Here's what I drew.
I was going to Colin from a few years ago with his nice haircut. Of course.
So that's pretty good, Lucas. So
Hey,
Colin
smoking
W. So you said what? You said it was
I was going
what?
to say it was Colin from back when he had his nice lettuce playing baseball or something. But
Okay.
well done, Lucas. Smart.
Okay.
So Sean wrote Colin farting on Sean's face, and I drew.
And I knew immediately that it was Colin giving Sean a massive beef stew.
Oh man.
All right. And then
that was
Lucas,
good.
a man with no hands but huge feet. Okay,
So I drew a man with no hands and huge feet.
So I was going to. I thought those were his nuts. So I thought these were nuts. I thought these were huge nuts. So I
Sean,
was
I
going
like
to
how
put
you
a
gave him no
man with
arms.
giant overweight
well, so I had a
nuts.
debate. I was like, if I draw arms with my stick figure, then it's just going to look like he has hands too.
So I wrote a guy.
Oh, Sean, you couldn't even make the feet look like feet. You had to make them look like giant circles.
You think I can draw feet with my friggin' mouse pad? Like,
They looked like nuts, really. You guys want to get one more game with this?
sure.
I think so. These drawings are pretty funny.
They are. They're good. I got to think of a good sentence here.
Yeah, good point.
I like mine because it's hard.
This one's really hard. I wish we had more time because I'd like to see somebody putting some honest work into this one.
Mine doesn't make any sense, which is why it's perfect.
Oh God.
Okay, mine's pretty in depth, but it's not like impossible to draw.
Did everybody submit or okay?
Okay, I wish I knew what this looked like, but let me.
This isn't gonna like. What am I supposed to do?
I feel like Sean got mine, and it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Oh, guys, have you ever messed with the other tools over here? Like you can make shapes and shit.
Oh,
Well, that's great.
not that I would be smart enough to use those.
I'm creating a whole scene in mine now.
Oh, I'm just not very artistic, boys.
Trying to convey like, because if you write, if you draw too much, they might interpret it as more than it is. You want to make it obvious what the thing is, but also not have them type too much.
Yeah, you want to get the essence of it. Like, what is the essence of the prompt?
This is just not working. I'm sorry, everybody.
I think I just got to go with this drawing and just hope that it's obvious who that's supposed to be. I guess I'll go with it.
What were they doing letting me design ads?
All right, I got mine.
Easy.
Whoa.
Okay.
Describe this scene.
What? Oh man, dude, what the fuck is going on?
I've submitted mine already.
Oh man, dude, this is so funny. Like,
Make sure you get your guesses in, because it goes kind of quick.
Okay, I'm in.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
All right,
go
let's
through
see
it
what we got. Final one here.
All right. So I said a milkman drinking a soda. Sean drew
So I drew a
Dr.
milkman.
P and a milk.
See, now the Dr. P got in my head because Sean loved Dr. P last week. So I said Sean pounding 12 Dr. Peppers and no milk.
You know what? I'll take that,
He's
honestly.
saying no to the
I
milk.
expected words.
All right.
Pretty cool.
We got. My fucking shit is fucked up. Right? Rock Hard Boner, The Rock, which is
Sean's
very
rock.
hard. So Lucas drew this rock. And I said a freaked out rock.
Dude, it's totally RHP or RHB, bro.
That's what he looks like. Look at him.
It looks exactly like that. Oh, that's funny.
I should have gotten
I
that.
thought it was a rock, though, honestly.
All right,
Yeah.
and then we
I
got
gotta see
a
what this
midget
looks
with
like.
a unibrow on a surfboard, and I drew.
Why did he have no arms? Like, why couldn't you throw some arms on
I
there?
didn't have time. A guy with no arms longboarding.
Oh my god.
Longboarding on the ocean, Sean.
Oh, he's on the ocean. That could be a lake.
Yeah, Zach, you needed to add some subtle waves.
Looks peaceful.
Wow, that is pretty funny
Isn't
though.
a longboard,
Yeah, no, longboarding's
a
on-
skateboard?
Yeah, longboarding is on asphalt.
I'm thinking of paddleboard. Sorry. I don't know why.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You fucked up, but
I'm
it's
sorry,
fine.
guys. It happened.
All
You know,
right,
it's fine.
let's all exit the activity here.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's a pretty good activity. It's not the best.
Yeah,
I
it's
almost forgot how
fine.
sexy you guys are.
I know. Now we look so good all of a sudden.
Whoa. Lucas, I love your shirt.
Thanks.
Zach, yours too, of course.
Black sweatshirt.
Black sweatshirt, always a classic in the Zach wardrobe.
Pretty routine in my wardrobe, yeah.
How much does Discord Nitro cost?
Dude, it's $100 a year.
To be fair, that's not very much per month. But
Dude,
like,
it's so much.
but like, dude, there's
Listen,
so many
if
good
you
games
guys
on here.
wanted to split it for the year, but one of the improvements that we would get from that is that why is my shit like tilted as fuck? This is unrelated to the pod, but it is a benefit. I could stream to you in HD at 60 frames per second,
Ooh.
which would look
That's
significantly better, and we could play all the games. But we'll think about it.
Well, I'm wondering, does just one person have to have it
I assume so.
to play, like for everyone else to join?
Somebody
activity?
Google that.
Well, I mean, we could all just split it, $25 each, if we can get
That
done.
would be super easy. Yeah, let's see. Does everyone need Discord Nitro? I accidentally typed B-Tree instead of Nitro. Nitro to play the activities.
Who won the hockey game?
Yeah, look
And
that
their
up.
friends can join even if they aren't subscribed to Nitro.
Nice. Oh, wow, the Panthers won. Damn.
What?
Oh, what score?
Dude, they're so nasty.
It's over. Series over.
What was the score?
3-2 in overtime.
Oh,
Wait, it's 3-0 now. Wasn't that game 3?
It was, yeah, no, it's over, though.
Oh, it's over.
oh, you're saying it's over.
I'm saying it's over.
You're saying it's chalked.
Whoa, and the Kraken are already up 3-0 on the Stars.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder how many goals are going to be scored in 3 games today. We already have 12 plus 5. There's 17 plus. There's 20 goals scored today.
Yeah, we were on course for the record.
Dude, what a crazy hockey day.
I think the record's
There's been a
20.
lot of crazy hockey days. I fucking love hockey.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I think the record is 20 goals in a game combined.
Like, period. Like,
Wow.
that's insane.
Imagine, like, what kind of goaltending is going on? I will say,
Me and you out there.
I wasn't even aware that there was a penalty situation where the guy gets to do a penalty shot in
That's so
hockey.
funny. Yeah,
And
that's rare.
it's so sick.
Yeah, it's only when it's a breakaway that would have led to a shot on goal.
Essentially would have, yeah, which is like so funny that they're like, yeah, we can determine that, like,
Yeah, like, oh yeah, and it's just like everybody's just like, yeah, cool with it. It's insane.
and then the guy gets to roll up on the goalie. It's like a shootout situation. And it once again brings me back to like, that was so much more fun than a penalty kick in soccer. Like, it was so much more fun.
I mean, you're right. Like, even when it penalty kicks in soccer, freaking okay. Like, I will say, like, soccer shootouts are really fun, or penalty kicks really fun. But like when it happens in the game, it's just such a boner killer because it's a free goal for like a little bump in the box or something, and it just sucks. It's like, but in hockey, you still have to earn that goal. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, that guy's out here doing like, wah, he's like backhanding it
that
to
was
the
nasty.
top corner,
it's
like,
only like a 40% success rate on shootouts, something like that.
yeah, so you don't even win it most of the time.
Yeah, that's why it's like not that big a deal either. Because if you think about it, as if so, it's a slight upgrade over a 2-minute power play. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Like statistically speaking, it's slightly better than the 2-minute power play. So it's like that's why it's not like that crazy. But that's why it sucks like soccer. It's like, dude, like when you're gonna basically give them an 80% chance at a goal because they got bumped trying to go for a header in the box.
Right.
That's stupid. It's probably my least favorite part, and I would say I'm a fan of soccer. Actually, I like watching it surprisingly, and that's my least favorite thing about it. So just compared to hockey, man, it's just I love hockey.
It is super fun, and the postseason is awesome. Lexi and I, so Zach, we sent you the link to those jerseys on DHgate.
Yeah.
Basically, Lexi's done a ton of ordering from there, right? And the deal is basically it takes like a really long time to get there, and it's knockoff, right?
Yeah.
But it's as realistic as can possibly be. Lexi's got some like Doc Martens that have lasted for like 4 or 5 years now that look exactly like they should and stuff like that. And we went to Lids today at the mall. Lids, the sporting store with all the hats and all the jerseys and stuff.
Sponsored by Lids.
And we've sponsored by Lids. And not really, though, because we went in there.
Now let's
and
take
we
a shit on Lids. Yeah.
a bunch of shit on them. We saw in the store, I saw the jersey that I ordered, right, for $35 off of DHgate. That's going to hopefully get here before the Stanley Cup, and hopefully the Canes will be there. That would be cool. But this jersey is $185 in this Lids. And I'm like, dude, $185? I mean,
that's absurd.
it's sick. It feels, like it feels great. I made sure the size was right. Like it was dope. It was the exact jersey I ordered. But I'm like, $200 is what that would come out to. Like what?
That's an absurd price to charge for clothing that you can only wear like, I don't know, once every 3 or 4 weeks.
There's not that many situations where you can wear a hockey jersey and like get away with it.
It's got to be winter.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact is, Lucas, enough people are buying it at $185.
Right.
That's why it's that. So
I'm sure there's also plenty of people buying what I bought for $35 that has the Adidas logo, and
That's the
it's like
question,
totally
though, Sean.
knockoff.
There's enough people, but could there be more money made if they lowered it?
it's a question that gets asked constantly, and that price is not like an accident, right? Like, if they could make more money lowering the price, they have analyzed it and have figured it out, especially a big company like Lids. And, for whatever reason, enough people don't give a shit about caring to go online and order the DHL version of the knockoff version. And there's enough rich Carolina Hurricanes fans who will stumble into the mall and buy that 185 jersey without even thinking about it. And it must be nice to be that person. I'll bet you, I almost guarantee you that the demographics of hockey fans, there's probably a correlation with household income, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And hockey jerseys, don't quote me on this, are the most expensive sports jersey, I think.
They must be.
Just because it's a
Like, how
sweater
much
instead
is
of a jersey. Yeah.
It's a long sleeve. It's like really heavy duty. I like how much.
Basketball jerseys are the cheapest, I know. Or from what I've seen online, anyways. Like you can
what
get
if
a
I
pretty.
try to buy a.
Maybe. I mean, I could be crazy, but
If I wanted to buy a Jalen Hurts jersey, 175 for a full-blown official NHL website jersey. So that's still like they're
still right there, yeah.
ringing you up.
Is it from? I know Fanatics makes a ton of the jerseys. Is it from Fanatics?
This right now, I'm on NFL Shop, and there are some for 100. There's a black jersey for 100 that appears to be just as legit as the others. So like,
there's options.
There's options. You can get 130.
Yeah, like if they could sell the cheaper hockey jersey and make enough money on it, they would be. So for whatever reason. I mean, I'm sure they're also just more expensive to make too, like the official ones compared to the other jerseys.
Oh, they must be more expensive to make, but they can't be.
They have to pay people.
That expensive.
They're still raking it in. Clothing's one of the highest margin industries, like period. I mean, all the labor abuse and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the issue. It's like I'm getting mine straight from the little kids, straight from their
Maybe
hands.
they'll write you a letter and stuff it in the sleeve.
Everything we get, I mean, I'm telling you, man, like came from a pretty shitty start, like one way or another, or not everything, but a lot of the things that we have.
That's okay.
And we just don't talk about it and don't care. And like, I don't care. Like, I want to sit here and say, like, I really am passionate or care about it. And if there was a situation that presented itself with, like, if I could do something to help those situations not exist, but like, I'm still going to use my computer and phone, you know, and it sucks, but it just is what it is, I guess. Right. So.
Yeah, it is crazy. And then you think about it, it's like the website Shein or whatever.
Yeah, I've ordered there.
You're right. Yeah, girls use it like crazy, and obviously they've got guys stuff now too, and they're like, you know, everyone's using it like crazy, and it's just kind of interesting where it's like you kind of feel bad because you're buying from China, basically, right? You're just buying things from China, who I don't want to support at all. But then again, it's also like, well, instead of giving $40 to H&M, the middleman, I'm just giving $10 straight to the person that actually made this. You know, like when you buy something that says "Made in China" at a freaking Forever 21, and you're paying triple the price, you can just cut out Forever 21 on Shein. Yeah, and it's like, why would I not do that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Forever 21 is essentially like a vendor of the products that you find on something like Shein or like a random Chinese website.
Right.
So, yeah. You are essentially doing the exact same thing by buying the thing at Forever 21. You're just paying Forever 21 as well.
Exactly. You're just paying both people.
Yeah. You're paying for the convenience of being able to walk in the store and buy it. So.
It is unfortunate that that's the way our landscape has gone. I wish, like, obviously, yes, I wish I could buy everything made here in America and, done the right way and stuff like that. But
You really can't, man. That's just,
yeah.
It is kind of shocking to me that there's not more of a push by some companies to overemphasize the made in America thing. But I like the fact is people don't care as much as they care about other things.
You also have to be completely and honestly made in America, or else it will come out that you're not, and that makes you think, Sean. You always say if they could, they would. So I'm guessing that most of the companies that are made in America are not actually all made in America, or they would be pushing that harder, because I think people do care a lot, actually. Like, there are people who, if presented that, will make a purchasing decision over another, but I don't think that there are many companies that can say that they are made in America.
Well, and they would. And the fact is that if you, Zach, were presented with two products and one's made in America and one's not, and it's the same product, the made in America one's going to be more expensive. Mm-hmm. And so how much more are you willing to pay for that made in America product over the Chinese product? Yeah. And that number is probably smaller, not you necessarily, but like for the population, that number is probably too small to make it like that big of a push for these companies to want to spend more making their products in America. And like, I know that Ashley's a funny one because they used to be 100% made in America. And now it's like 1/3 made in America. And they still swing it in their advertising as like, I can't remember what the verbiage was, but it cracked me up one time. It was literally like more. It was like saying like they make more of their furniture in America than other furniture companies.
Parts manufactured in America.
Yeah, like
parts assembled in America.
Right.
Yeah, like, it's like something like that. I was like cracking up, dude. But yeah, they're like the most. It's like the most American-made furniture, like something like that was like the verbiage. Like we're the most American furniture company.
Yeah, we're the most American furniture you can buy. I like it.
That's so sad when it's like the most American. As soon as it's gonna be like 0.1% American, the most American furniture you can find.
There's nothing more fucking American that you can get.
I can't remember what the number was, but during COVID, they actually had to. The amount of manufacturing that happened of furniture in America went up dramatically for like Ashley, for example, because of all the supply chain issues from overseas. Like it almost ruined the business in a lot of ways, and they had to like overcompensate by making a lot of stuff in America. So
yeah, America's a really good market to be in, and that's a fact. And every country wants to be in the American market, and that gives us leverage. And we don't do anything with it, with our leverage, unless of course we're that's maybe my biggest critique of liberal foreign affairs is the absolute unwillingness to cut other countries off of things if it brings America some sort of advantage. Completely unwilling to do it. And that's probably the best thing about the Trump presidency is that he was willing to do that.
Do you guys think Biden is actually going to run again?
I did. Yes. Like, I think he may die.
I think he's going to do it.
I think Kamala's getting ready to be president.
Seriously, like they're trying to. Did you see that they're trying to not do any debates in the like Democratic primaries? Like, dude, he doesn't even want to go out there and debate.
I would think that it just seems like a mistake for the Democrats.
Oh, it's a huge mistake.
Can somebody explain to me how super delegates work and why they're allowed?
I actually have no clue. Like, how is that a thing?
Like the Democratic Party they'll take your votes into consideration, And then they have people who have better votes than yours that vote as well, and their votes account for a significant more than your votes. And so it's really those people making a lot of the decisions. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
It is messed up, and it reminds me, I saw a Russell Brand clip today. He's always saying awesome stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
And he finally said what I've been trying to communicate. I've tried to do it on a couple of podcasts.
He's so good at that.
He basically said, I was like, yes, that's what I've been saying. He was basically like, if you, like the whole, all of this is made up, right? Like all these countries, all these governments, if you look at us from space, you don't see any of it. You don't see any countries. You just see continents. You don't see governments, anything like that. So, if a government is not doing what it should do for you, and it's not fair, and it's not, then why are you buying into it? Why are you obeying it? Basically, is what he said. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm saying. The whole point of having a government is that we believe that it is the best way for us to live our lives, right? Is like with structure and with a certain government. And it's like, well, if it's being run corruptly and not the way that I think it should be, it's all man-made for us. So why am I buying into it? Like, why am I, it's like,
that was very important to a lot of the founding fathers as well. It was very important to them that they thought that you should have the ability to create a well-regulated militia to overthrow your government if you find it to be corrupt or just not working in the way that it should. Obviously, it's a lot harder to do that now, but I think people would be surprised at the American people's potential ability to overthrow the government if we wanted to. People think, they'd hit you with drone strikes and nukes and stuff. It's like, really? You think they're going to do that? Like that?
You think the military, whose families are at home,
military
are going to do that?
People,
right?
Those people would all have to obey orders to a T. You think other countries are just going to sit by and allow the American government, who's supposed to be this really big, important, strong leadership country, you think the other countries are going to allow them to just destroy their own people? That would be I think there's a lot of countries that would have a problem with that.
It would. Yeah, it is. It's just so tough because it's so important that American citizens have guns, but we are also experiencing an epidemic or a pandemic, basically, an American epidemic. Sorry, not a pandemic. We're experiencing an epidemic of like crazy gun violence. It would seem. I don't.
It would seem, but the stats say that we're not.
The stats do. Does it seem like we are on a similar trend as normal?
Yeah, gun violence has been going down. I think it's for the last. So look it up. It's been going down for. Somebody fact check me because I can't.
Gotcha.
I think it's been going down every year. That was certainly true as of like 5 years ago. I don't know as of the last 5 years.
In 2021. Most recent year for which complete data is available, 48,830 people died from gun-related injuries in the U.S. Suicides accounted for about half of that.
So I found an article from Pew Research Center that's specifically talking about homicide rates with guns, and it says that homicide rates are down 49% since 1993.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that gun violence, like man versus man, had been going down every single year for for a long time.
So that's for specifically homicide, like
not
killings,
suicides,
like murders.
Take out suicides, take out accidents.
Right. Yeah, I see that one now, Lucas.
So it looks like it peaked. Pew Research is saying it peaked in 1993, which is insane.
Do we
I
have
had no
the year
clue.
to year? Because I heard this from Woody on Painkiller already, and he's not normally one to be super bombastic or exaggeratory, but he said it's not just down by 49%, but the number of people who die goes down every single year.
Yeah, I'm having trouble finding. I've got a bunch of charts here, but they're per 100,000.
I will say it looks like firearm deaths are up a lot, but homicides are down a lot, which is interesting. Which is also a testament to
Is that suicide rate? Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, you can't look at the suicide rate though, because you have to remove suicides because it doesn't paint an accurate picture of what we're kind of talking about here. Right.
Yeah, so I mean, look, that information, yes, it's broadcast on the news, all these like big killings and shootings and that violent people have guns, but wow, that is really interesting. I didn't even know.
So here's the
it
thing.
Peaked in 93.
Does anybody here think that CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News, or any of those is unaware of the fact that gun violence has been declining over the last 100 years?
They must know.
They know.
Yeah.
So then you have to ask yourself, well, then why are they making it seem like it's out of control?
Mm-hmm. It's the exact same reason why AOC and a bunch of idiot protesters have been out screaming that Jordan Neely is some sort of martyr because he got choked out on a train when he was attacking people. It's like...
This is really important, though. Before we get off this is really important. Like, why the hell is the media seemingly... Okay, why would the government want to take away guns from people?
Well, that's obvious.
If gun violence is going down.
Gun violence is going down, and anyone who wants more control over the American people would want to take their guns away.
And then now this like, I think people think that this sounds conspiracy theory-y, but it's not when you think about it. For just a second, really think about it. If gun violence is going down in the country every year, and the media is promoting a false narrative about guns and gun violence that works directly in favor of a bigger government, that's fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Because the media is supposed to be the opposite.
Yes, it's supposed
the media is supposed to be coming after the government
constantly,
showing what they're doing wrong.
Yes,
and rather they are.
I think a testament to that is that you two, honestly, honest to God, and I can't blame you, didn't really realize that gun violence was going down. Because how the hell would you know that?
That's insane because I really don't trust mainstream media in like almost every case. And I still thought that it was like not doing well.
Mass shootings
I do everything I can to ignore it.
Yeah, mass shootings are up, but that's probably more of a problem of the internet and our inability to understand the internet and the insane effect that it's had over the last 15 years on people, because it really didn't exist before 15 years ago. I mean, not in a substantive, meaningful way.
You know, there are some I'm reading into this more. I mean, and this kind of helps with me understanding why I maybe thought that it was different than it is that there's a lot of statistics that you can use to back up your agenda if you're a liberal. Like, so murders as a whole are down a lot. And the percentage of murders that are committed with guns is up since over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you could easily get away with saying like percentage wise murders with guns are going up, you know? But the fact is, as a whole, as a country, homicides are way down, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
also, if I was going to commit a murder, I think a gun's a good way to do it. And
right.
So it's not, and it's one of the more difficult ways to prevent. So like you tell me that murders are going down. I'm like, yeah, I mean, if somebody's, you know, you can, I don't know if that's going to make sense at all. If I were to murder somebody, it'd be with a gun, right?
Yeah, it depends on the scenario, obviously, because there's a lot of...
because I assume most murders aren't premeditated.
Yeah, because there's a lot more quiet ways to do it, but...
I think, I want to say most murders are premeditated.
Really?
I could be wrong. Or at least, like... I don't know. It was the same thing I was talking about with like 90. It was like 90% of people know the person that they murdered, and then
yeah. But that doesn't mean it's premeditated.
There's a percentage that were premeditated, and that was, I thought, higher than I.
It could be, but I imagine a lot of them is just like, that stupid bitch, that's the fucking straw, and then they're arguing and he slaps her and she falls and cracks her head on the wall. There's just a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah, gosh, I can't even.
Gun violence is down. That's the thing. You can take. I don't even think you need to take murders into account, because murders aren't all gun violence. Like, people can get shot and live. So it's important to take that.
That's another thing to take into account too, is, are we keeping more people alive? And some of the stats we're looking at are gun deaths or homicides where the kill actually happened. And maybe there's, maybe it's a part of the reason it's gone down a little bit is because we're saving a lot more people.
Could be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, is like, you could certainly make the argument that as a society we're safer, but the group of people who are still committing these crimes, like, the share of them being committed with guns increasing is not necessarily like a good thing, I guess. Like, there's different ways to look at it, and so like, that's why at least like we were confused, and like it's worth a second look.
Did that study that you had take into account COVID in the last 5? Because you said it was mainly in the last 5 years.
It talked about the murder rate being up significantly in 2020 versus 2019. That was like the biggest spike like ever. But it didn't talk about COVID other than that. Just like that COVID caused that spike of it was a 30% spike in murder rate in the U.S. from 2019 to 2020. And then that was it. And then just showed the trend of the last 5 years, but it's still been up. I think it was up year over year this year too. Said so.
Yeah. I'm also always interested in gun violence studies, if they've taken into account gang violence and have included or decided not to include it.
Yeah, it's like I have trouble even like I want to know the answer to these questions, but it's so frustrating trying to find the answers when there's so many different ways to present the data and information.
Right.
It's like, it's almost like it's even worth it for me to like,
You kind of have to trust the trend if that's the case, right? Like, you have to look long term. You can't look short term. Right. Because short term, you can definitely skew data and stuff.
And that's why, for me, it also comes down to the really important reasons behind, like in this case, why Americans and why the founding fathers thought we should have weapons, right? Like, even if the data shows certain things, it's like, well, there's also the fact that we weren't even necessarily supposed to have guns to protect ourselves from other people. The whole point was that the government can't take control of the people. They were like insanely worried about basically what they had come from was a place where they couldn't even practice their own religion. Yeah. A place where they couldn't, be the people that they wanted to be because of the government.
Right.
And so it's like, when you look at like, that is an extremely important reason to have firearms, like, for the people. And so, like, having that as like a starting point is like, okay, well, now no matter how someone skews the data, I know that there's an important reason, right? Now it's my job to sift through what I see and what the data says to figure out what is the safest way to keep that starting point. Like, do we have more background checks? Do we have more, whatever it takes to make sure that people stay safe, while also making sure that that guideline, that starting point, is kept strong, because it's really important.
Right.
Well, I have a question for you too, Lucas. So I know that the people in my life who are against guns don't think about that at all. And they view the government as just like a too big to fail, probably situation as it is in 2023. And so I have to ask, so like, if you were in a frame of mind where you take away that underlying, like, we could just overthrow the government as long as we have guns situation, do you think that society would be better off if you were able to, and I understand you're not able to, but if you were able to snap your fingers and delete all the guns from society, if you took away the idea that the government could take too much power, let's just push that aside right now, okay?
If the government was like no risk to me, and it was a perfect government, and it was run by people who are not corrupt, and I could fully trust in said government,
right?
In that situation, then yes, I think that like snapping the fingers is like, okay, yeah, people would be a lot safer, I would assume. I'm sure that there's also data saying that potentially no. I mean, men find ways to kill other men.
Right.
That's like, we're really good at it. You know, it's like, so I'm sure there's data on both sides. My first thought is, yeah, guns are really good at killing people. They make it easier in most cases. So if there was a scenario where I don't have to fear my government whatsoever, then yeah. But there hasn't pretty much been a government in all of human history that hasn't needed to be put in check.
Every government.
And there also, it's like there also are very few governments in human history that haven't been too big to fail.
Yeah.
You think that the people in Rome thought that Rome was going to fall?
Egypt,
No.
6,000 years in.
It's insane.
6,000. We're at 3,500.
That is crazy. 6,000 years. I can't even. But so what I'm kind of getting at is like, I think that a lot of the people who argue against guns, that's all they're thinking about is the fact that in theory, and they're not thinking about the whole picture maybe, and they don't think about it how you see it. Is that in theory, if you snapped your fingers and got rid of guns, it takes away a method that is easiest to murder other people. That's all they think about. And that's kind of where they stop at. And so they take that and they prioritize that and they push aside any thoughts about like maybe the government being too scary. Maybe there's like, well, the government's the government. Like they're elected by us. It's not that big of a concern, whatever. And I would be curious to see a conversation between you and somebody who thought that way, I guess. Or I'd want to have a conversation with somebody who thought that way.
Yeah, I mean, that whole conversation would just be me talking about times in history where governments have been untrustworthy and have taken guns from their people.
Or asking them their opinion on Donald Trump because that's part of the government. That's your government. That's the reality of your government is Donald Trump was the leader of the free world. So if you have that trust in so I would definitely push them on, do you really trust your government? Because I don't think you do.
It's like, should I go through right now and find out the net worth of each and every one of our congressmen and women? And then should I tell you their salary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And should we wonder if the government is corrupt?
And then you can start saying, well, I totally agree with you. And if I trust my government, so much, then we could maybe get rid of guns. But to trust the government doesn't mean that you trust all people. And women immediately are at a much higher risk of danger if you take away all guns because, God made man, cult made them equal. That's the old saying, because the fact of the matter is a man can do almost whatever he wants to 99% of women.
Unless they have a cult.
If they have a gun, that's a different story. And the underlying threat of the gun. I will say,
the possibility they could have
like
one,
so like would if you were a country, let's say you're Germany and you have to invade a country but just their people, would you rather invade America or Switzerland? And say the populations are equal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Switzerland, they're not going to shoot me.
They're not going to shoot you. So it's definitely, there's that.
That's it. Banning guns is anti-woman.
Also, that's right. Also, I think in general, like free speech is incredibly dangerous. And nobody wants to talk about taking that away. To the most dangerous thing to the most dangerous thing to any governmental body is giving people the ability to read and write thoughts freely. I mean, that will destroy a government. So there's a lot of amendments that are dangerous to people and harmful to people that we don't want to get rid of, and I think guns is just an easy one because bad people do bad stuff with them sometimes.
But so Lucas, would you be more in favor of like background checks and stuff like that, or Like, what's your thought on all that? Like, yeah.
Totally. I don't think there's any reason why, and I haven't, I've thought about it a decent amount, and there is a lot of nuance to it, but I don't think that there's any reason that it should just be because like I don't want anyone to just be able to go obtain one legally with no issues, and they could be. It's like giving people access to Twitter, right? Like everyone has full access to Twitter because basically everyone in America has a phone. And look at the psychos on Twitter.
Except for the president last year.
Right, except for the president who was not given access, but now Elon has it, so we're good. But like that's a scenario where I look at that and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter where I see their like thought processes and like I see them. It's almost like in real time. You get to watch them view an article and then think about what they saw and then say something about that article, and you're like, oh my God. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How in the hell did you read that and come up with this to say?
You'll get one of those like
I don't
Reddit.
want that person to have a gun.
Yeah, you'll get one of those like 3 full web page scroll replies on Reddit where it's like somebody breaks down like, well, the problem starts with your parents. They were both retarded. They had a retarded kid, which makes you a bastard. It's like they break down how stupid your comment is.
Right. Right. So it's like I see stuff like that and I'm like, yes, obviously they're having even just minimal amounts of screening process is a great start. But you've got to there's a reason why it's a debate. We have to work hard to figure out what the right balance is of allowing people to express their right and also keeping people as safe as possible. So it's a tough line to walk. But I think basically, yeah, just going back to like what you said about people not thinking fully through about the issue, I think that is applicable to almost any political issue. Looking at things unidimensionally is possibly like the entire problem with American politics. It's like, and I've got to think that it's like, you know how it's like they always talk about there are people, there are certain jobs categories of jobs that you will fall into based on your IQ, like guaranteed. Yep. It's like, it makes me think about that, it's like there are certain, it's just truth. Yep. Humans have different ranges of IQs, and there is a line of IQ levels.
Yeah.
Where you're just not going to think about issues multidimensionally very well. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's going to cause problems in society.
It's probably, in my opinion, the biggest root of it's like the biggest inequality that can happen inherently at birth is you are given a crappy IQ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're retarded, that's tough. Yeah,
it just sucks. It's like,
quote that.
You're retarded. That just sucks,
dude. That's tough.
That's tough. That's tough, dude. But yeah. So like how you said, Lucas. Like I try to pride myself on trying to see everything multidimensionally, as you guys know. And I've been in the room with the liberals, and I've been in the room with more right-leaning guys. And it's funny because when I ask liberals the same question, like, would you? Okay, so what I would always try to say to them is like, okay, let's pretend that we like can't ban guns because we can't get rid of them. They're in society. They exist everywhere. In reality, you can't snap your fingers and delete every gun that exists. And that's, in my opinion, one of the harder things with something like if you were going to put a massive gun legislation out there, like bad people are still probably going to manage to get their hands on guns, even if it's a little bit harder. They would totally, so I'm like, okay, so take that aside. So like, would you be in favor of more background checks and it being a little bit more of a process to obtain a gun, along with training and different levels you have to kind of go through to properly be able to legally handle a gun? And they would say yes. And so it's like just trying to find some sort of middle ground there. And it's like, I feel like it's never the middle ground. It's either everybody should be able to walk into a store and buy guns, or all guns should be deleted and nobody should ever have them. It's like, the reality is the answer somewhere in the middle, and we should be arguing towards that middle ground of like, okay, a little bit of push and pull in the middle. And when you get rid of all that outside noise and like all those dummies on Twitter and stuff, the reality is a lot of people, if you actually talk to them and kind of dissect how they're thinking, they're somewhere in that middle ground. They're not at those extremes. And it's cool having friends in different groups like that and being able to hear from different people's perspective, because there's a lot more similarity than I think we totally realize. So
yeah, you can definitely talk to people though sometimes and be like, I feel like if I talk to you about this, you're not, and it sounds so bad. It's like, you're not smart enough to think about this. Like, you don't think on that level. You're not going to get it. You're not going to be people.
Yeah,
some people are just not going to be able to be as rational as you just were, Sean. Like, they're not capable of it. It's like,
yeah.
And so like I have experienced people like that in my real life. And with those people, I just disengage. I just don't talk about it because there's no point. It's like talking to a brick wall about certain things. Did you guys see a quick topic? Did you guys see your boy Steven Crowder is in a little bit of trouble?
Oh yeah,
dude.
From what I've seen, it's like no one is with him.
Oh,
dude. Like everybody hates.
he is coming off like a straight edge douche.
I was gonna say, to be fair, the guy seems like a douche.
Yeah,
he just seems like a dick.
Totally. And like okay, we'll be fair. Well, let's be fair.
Yeah.
The video that was put out by her lawyer publicly, his ex-wife's lawyer. So it's probably
which doesn't seem cool.
not cool, and probably not his best moment.
Yeah.
But the fucking narcissism in everything he said, the disgust that he had for everything he said, and then just the passive threat of violence that was pervasive throughout that video. Watch it. Fucking watch it. Like, watch it or what? Or what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna hit her? What are you gonna do? And then
it's definitely unsurprising.
But there was a point in that video where she goes, well, if I can't have the car, I'm gonna call somebody, come pick me up and take me to the grocery store. And he said, is that a threat? And that makes me think that there might be a nice fella, on the line to come pick her up and take her to the grocery store, that maybe there's something going on there. Maybe there's some sexiness going on, and good for her.
Like, while she's pregnant, though.
I mean, good for her if that's the case. Like, she should get away from that guy. Like,
yeah.
And then there was that creepy, the state of Texas allows her to divorce me without my permission.
Yeah.
What a weird take, man.
Very possessive. Weird.
Which I get.
It is weird.
His mindset is that if you get married, then you have to both agree to be divorced, because if you didn't want that, then you would just date and you wouldn't get married.
Yeah. It came off really whack.
But it came off as like really possessive, like creepy possessive, and he just kind of seems like an asshole, huh?
Mm-hmm. I can imagine, just the way that he talks a lot. You can imagine him being very narcissistic and snappy about everything, and just always condescending in the way that he talks. You can imagine being around him as being very draining.
He had a "don't talk" button in his, on his show. When he's making a joke, if somebody else tries to butt in and make a joke, he has a button on his desk that he presses, and it shines lights in the office that say "Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk," and that's and you can watch him do it sometimes. There's a compilation of he touches his desk right here, the button's right here on the side of his desk, and then everybody trying to make a point is quiet while he does a bit. So that just leads into that that he's a super controlling, narcissistic guy, right? Dave Landau said that, hilarious comedian Dave Landau, who was working for him. So
as somebody who tries to, at least when I consumed a little more media, I tried to consume media from all directions. He was one I would choose not to consume most of the time, just because of the vibes I got.
Yeah.
And so if I had to pick one of the conservative talking heads that, this could happen to, I guess it's not shocking. And I would watch, I watched a couple full episodes of the Louder Crowder and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And, obviously there are things that get said by anybody that you can agree with, but there's just so many times where I'm like, what are you talking? You're just kind of being weird, man. A little bit of undertones and things that just didn't seem quite right. So
Yeah, his stuff always leaned comedy as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, but it wasn't that funny to me.
Yeah, kind of dry.
Yeah, not like some of the jokes were just like, feel like everybody in the room with you is laughing and nobody else is laughing while watching this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, to be fair, he did a lot of entertaining stuff. I mean, it makes sense why he got, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed, like you said, I enjoyed a lot of his stuff. On occasion, there were videos that were like, all right, that was a funny video. Like, that was a good watch. He said some stuff that made a bunch of sense there about whatever. But still, it's like, obviously, you can say stuff that is funny or that is true or that whatever, and you can be a total asshole. I mean, it's
even
just
diarrhea can be something, son, if it's stepped on by the foot of a great man.
Blark.
That's such a good sentence.
Like, can we get a soundboard of Blark saying, like, my cologne is beef jerky?
Dude, I'll work on it.
We need to take a session not on air and work on the soundboard. Big time.
Yeah. Well, hold on,
Dude,
guys.
I love-
Let's chat about this right now, but let's end the show real quick because we're like 15 minutes over 2 hours here. So,
Wow. Great
so
work.
let's wild card this episode 10 of the motherfucking No We Know Podcast.